2021. Beautiful day out here in Ohio. Today I'm pruning our elderberries. These are American elderberries, Sambucus canadensis. This is your American elderberry bush. We use elderberries for elderberry pie, elderberry wine, elderberry jelly, and elderberry syrup for our immune system that we take in the winter time. We make this elderberry syrup with our raw honey in it. But it's time to prune these. I thought anyone who has American elderberry, there's two kinds. There's American elderberry, which is Sambucus canadensis. It's a small shrub. They are woody. They will, over time, they'll form a trunk on them, a woody trunk, about 6 inches in diameter. The other variety is in Europe and Asia, other places, it's called Sambucus nigra, and that's also called the elder tree. They can get up to 20 feet tall, and they say 16 inches wide. Elderberries love moist soil. They say, if you're wanting to know, there's certain plants that you can look at around your property to tell how far your water table is from the surface of the ground. And I've got a book. It's about living off the land and doing things yourself. And that's where I learned this. And one of the things it said was, when trying to determine the depth, it was for digging wells. If you're going to dig a water well, you want to know how deep the water is. They're telling you different plants and trees to look for. Well, we already know we're in a valley here. Our water table is very high here. But the book said that elderberry will not grow anywhere where the water is more than 10 feet from the surface. Well, I can tell you right now, we got a little stream over there, and the water here is about right where we're standing. There's a bed of blue clay that goes through here, a vein of blue clay. If you dig down 2 foot on that end, you're going to hit blue clay. Down here, if you dig around about 4 foot, you're going to hit blue clay. So a lot of water stands here, and elderberries love that. You've got kind of a wetland over here, and elderberries grow all through there. And what they do is the roots will spread sideways, and as they grow sideways, they keep shooting up sprouts. So they'll just keep spreading. And what I've done over here is I'm gonna take more cuttings this year. We're gonna start some more. I'm gonna make another row out here. We're also gonna put blackberries, bushes, a couple rows of blackberry bushes, and elderberries for out here. So this is gonna be our berry patch. We started this here 4 years ago. So what you need to do, though, when you have elderberries, is you do need to prune them if you want good quality berries. All this growth is from last year. All this fine stuff here, this is where all the elderberries were. We got a lot of elderberries last year. This is where the elderberries were, on the ends of these. They grow very fast. Elderberries produce on new growth. They will not produce on this again. What they'll do is there's nodes. There's nodes about every 6 inches. And what they'll do, and it doesn't matter whether it's on the main, stalk or if it's on a side stalk, a branch, you'll see the smaller branches, it gets closer. Every 3, 2, even 1 inch. What this will do this year is these nodes will activate and new growth will come out. And where that new growth comes out is where you're going to get your elderberry flowers and your elderberries. It does not come off this wood. It comes off of the new growth this year. If you leave this on here like this, and some of these top ones, these are your old berry stems, they're dry. They'll brittle off. But what happens is if you let these come out here, two things are going to happen when this starts branching off. You got a weak branch, you get berries on there, it's going to do this. The other thing is they're going to be smaller clusters of berries, and they're going to be tiny berries because they don't get the food supply off of these. They're going to have all these little multiple stems coming off and smaller clusters of berries. If you want nice big round clusters of berries, this is what you do right here. Because now all the energy, you're going to get some nice shoots popping up. All these came off last year from where I pruned this. We're going to do the same thing this year. You can see the growth is starting. This is March 16th. We've had some warm days, and right there's a perfect example. Comes out right at these nodes. It's a growth node on either side of these. So we don't want stuff growing up here. I mean, it'll work. You can leave it alone. You're going to get a lot of clusters, but they're going to be smaller. And the berries are going to be smaller, just like you find in the wild. So I do this every year, and it makes a huge difference in the quality of your berries. And it helps control, because again, you get a heavy crop, these things will lay down on the ground. And you feel how stiff that is. That's a nice stiff cane. But if you let these continue like this, if I don't do anything, you see how that's weaker. If I let this grow out this year and just get berries on it, what I'm going to have by the end of the year is a cane that's laying down like this. So when you're doing this, I like to prune mine about, some people prune them almost to the ground. I like about waist high. As these get thicker trunks on them, I'll let them get a little bit higher. But these bases here, you can tell which ones were the first plants. Look how thick this one's getting. And that's got nodes too. If I cut all that off right there, which I'm probably going to do on that one this year, these nodes are going to activate. And that's where they're going to come out. But what I like to do is just start on the outside and work my way in. You can tell if you've got good, healthy wood or not. You'll see it's green when you cut it. But like on this one, got good nodes right there. I'm going to cut it right there. Cut some of these off. I could go up here, but you've got a lot of different things happening there. So go down here. Gives you a stiff stalk. This is going to grow up, and this is going to grow thicker this year, and it's going to support that weight like this is doing. It's going to grow up nice and straight. You don't prune these every year. Like I said, they're going to lay down. You're going to have them everywhere. So like this, leaning over, this is kind of, and another thing that's going to happen is these bigger ones grow over. If you don't want these to spread, cut them out, mulch, do whatever you got to do. I want them to spread. The more elderberries, the better. But like this, where you got these branches that came up like that, I don't want those. Because those are going to shade out these new canes that are coming along. So back to this one. I'm just cutting these off. See that nice growth there? There's a little bit of wood damage there. Something's chewing on that. We'll take that off right there. That's decent. We're going to keep that one on there just because it's wanting to grow already. Take these bottom ones off. We don't need those. Again, this is going to build a nice trunk. And the thicker your trunk gets, the more energy, the more sap that flows up into this, the healthier the berries are going to be. Like I said, you can cut these all the way to the ground every year. That's up to you, but like I said, I like to keep them right about here. It's always worked well for me. So you see you got this one kind of curving around. We don't really need that there. And if you do this every year when the stuff's young, you don't have to get a handsaw out, and you're not going to do a lot of, this stuff will heal right over. If you wait till it's bigger, you're going to have open spots where infection, disease can get in. So like this here, you can see right there's a node that's activating, right there. Right there, 2 of them. This year, this forked off last year. I don't want that there. I'm going to let that come up just like that. Right there, they're activating. Right there and there. That'll come up. That'll be nice. Again, don't be afraid to do this. If you're afraid to do it, just try it on a couple of your bushes. You'll be amazed at the difference. The other thing about American elderberries, it's got a spongy core to it. There's a worm. I believe it's called the elderberry borer. A big worm. And you'll know if you got them in the summertime. If you're walking by your elderberry patch, if we see any this summer, we'll get a quick video of it. If you got a nice beautiful elderberry patch and all of a sudden you got some stalks, some canes just drooping over like that, you got elderberry, I think it's called American elderberry borer. It's a big worm. What they do, it'll lay eggs here and they'll hatch and they live right here in this woody stuff right here. Is wherever that's wilding, wherever it stops wilding, just below that, that's how far it's worked its way down. They work their way through the core of this. They eat that whole core out. They're feeding inside there. That's why your canes are wilding, because this is where the moisture comes up. Your moisture, just like a tree, you got your phloem cells on the outside, your xylem cells. Phloem cells are for food, phloem food. That's how I remember it. Xylem is your water cells on the inside. And what happens is, it's not getting water anymore, because that big worm ate all this out. You'll see the hole and that big worm will come crawling out. Kill it, smash it, cut it, whatever you want to do, step on it. Get rid of that thing, because when it hatches, its offspring are going to come back and they're going to attack it even harder. It's just like rabbits, they multiply. So I had one last year, only one on the other end. As soon as I noticed it, I cut that off and killed the worm. I'm going to do this big one here just one more time. Then I'm going to finish the row and then we'll do a before and after video here so you can see. But just so you get an idea again, see this? We don't want all this stuff here. What I'll do is I'll come back when I'm done and I'm going to save some of these cuttings to root. I want to start some more. Once they start pushing out sizable stems, you might as well wait till the following year, because you're just going to slow them down. But while they're dormant is the time to do this. So see this one here? It's a nice node there. We'll go with that one. This one here, I don't want all that. You don't have to keep trimming your way down. Just decide where you want to go. I'm going to go right here. Nice green wood. Same thing here. I don't need all that. Just give it a little, get it bigger. Just kind of push the way the blade's going that way. You're going to push the same way the blade is going. See, these will come up there then. This one here's got a little bit going on there, so I don't need that there. Again, I'm going to take it down. Easier to manage and a lot easier to pick. These circles will grow up 15 foot. Then you're on a ladder picking them. You got your pickup truck backed up like I do with my dad's, and then you got a ladder in the pickup truck. And your hard hat and all that good stuff. So doing this keeps them, when I walk through here, as you can see, when I walked through here last year, I didn't get on a ladder. I just cut all my clusters off. That's all you got to do. So that's another advantage to keeping them low like this. That's nice. This is easy pruning here. This is no thinking pruning. You just go down here, oh yeah, there's another one. There's no looking around, there's no balancing the tree. Oh, I want a branch going here, one going there, and I want this perfect vase, or I want a perfect central leader. Not with elderberries. You want elderberries. So you do what you got to do, and this is what you do right here. Keep dumping mulch on them and keep everything away, and they'll just keep spreading out like this. They'll spread all the way across this if we let them. Every year they'll send out more roots. The ones that start and get established here, they'll send out more roots, and it just keeps going. Didn't take long. Like I said, it's no-brainer work. Just see what we did. And if you look down here now, it's all nice and ready to go this year. If you got any questions, message us or submit a comment in the comment section. We'll answer it for you to the best of our knowledge. Hey, 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 hey.